Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Wednesday, March 15th. Ian Cameron and Dutch. Yes, you're not seeing things, just the two of us today. Billy Briz is traveling away. We tried to get some fill-ins, but it's just you and I, but that's all right. We're here. We've got the picks. We've got the analysis. We're ready to go for 7 games in the NBA on this Wednesday night. Let's get right to it. On this Wednesday card, we will begin with Memphis and Miami. We've got Miami here, 4-point home favorites in this game. The total currently sitting at approximately 220 in this matchup. You know, you look at this game from a betting standpoint, and certainly money coming in on Memphis. There's big news absolutely regarding the status moving forward of the one and only Ja Morant. We know the kind of stuff that he has been going through here the last little bit with his issues. Well, now the decision was made that it would be a 8-game absence here for Ja Morant, 8-game suspension sanctioned by the NBA for Ja moving forward. So obviously no Ja Morant tonight. It also looks like Steven Adams remaining out for this team. Vince Williams as well. On the Miami side, well, Lowry's been banged up and out of the lineup for a little bit of time now, although he is listed as questionable here for this matchup tonight. He returned a couple games ago against Orlando and Utah. We'll see if he suits up for this Heat team. But Vincent, Hero, Butler, Love, and Bam Adebayo expected to be the starting 5 here tonight for this Heat team. Heat, again, like I said, getting money here up to a 4 in this game. You know, the Grizzlies have competed, you know, in some of these games pretty all right without Ja Morant, and they're coming off 3 straight victories. Golden State, back-to-back wins against Dallas. They're certainly betting this Miami team and willing to lay points with them. Not me in this matchup, Dutch. I mean, we're still talking about a team that is struggling to cover numbers at times. They did beat Utah 119-115 on Monday night, but didn't cover as 8.5-point favorites. And you look at them as home chalk. You know, they lost outright, or they beat 1 by 2 against Atlanta. They lost outright as home favorites to both the Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. So they've not been trustworthy here laying points of late. You know, I kind of like the idea of taking Memphis here, letting this line climb a little bit. I think I might buy on the Grizzlies here at some point before tip-off. Dutch, you got any thoughts here? Grizz Heat?
Yeah, man. Real quick, salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in. You already know it's all love. Be sure to hit that like button real quick, we'd muchly appreciate it. Share the video if you would as well. If you've not subscribed to Pub Sports Radio, well, God damn it, do it at this time. Hey, we appreciate everybody joining us in the chat. You know, shout out to our boy Billy Briz, unable to be able to be here today. But, you know, that's why we call him Billy the Kid. You know, this motherfucker let us know about an hour heads up. So we couldn't really get a fill in. We try to get our boy Trout Wham in here, C-Mac. But me and Bobano, we're going to hold it down. Hope all is well for our boy Billy Briz. Safe travels as well, my dude.
Yes.
But yeah, man, this game here, I agree with everything you said. I agree with everything absolutely you said, but I still believe it's a Miami spot. It's hard to go to the window with the Heat, especially at the crib. I mean, they did look somewhat impressive, winning back-to-back against Atlanta, found a way to win at the house, found a way to get one of them against Cleveland, and they you know, beat Utah, whip-de-fucking-do. But, you know, they have the talent with Jimmy and Bam. But it really comes down to those role players. If they're knocking down shots, you pretty much know what you're getting out of Hero. I think it might be Miami tonight, though. I really do. The Grizzlies have played well. I think they've kind of overachieved a little bit. Brooks got them kind of feeling themselves, to be quite honest with you. Tyrus Jones has been a nice fill-in for Ja. You know, I could see why it's a lot of love for Memphis here. But Memphis did beat these boys, you know, by right around double digits here in late December. I think this is a Miami spot kind of to get him back. But, you know, like as I mentioned, the ATS is not impressive whatsoever with Miami, so it is hard to go to the window. Not something I'm looking to bet, but I wouldn't be surprised if Miami shows up at the crib tonight.
Yeah, even though I like Memphis a little bit, +4, I do like Jimmy Butler on the Miami side. He's cooking right now for the Miami Heat. Make no mistake about it. If you look at his props, he has gone over his points prop 5 straight, points and rebounds in 5 straight, points, rebounds, and assists in 5 straight games. Jimmy Butler's taking the offense on himself, and look, he's doing other things too. He's dropping dimes, setting up teammates, getting on the glass. He's doing it all right now for Miami. And look, his point prop is 23.5. He's averaged 29.8 the last 5. 30.5 with points and rebounds. He's averaged over 36. So his average is way off where the prop is currently for all of these Jimmy Butler props tonight. So Points, rebounds, assists. They're all good looks, in my opinion, here tonight for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets, he might be here
let him
tonight.
know, T. Let him know, T. Yeah, Jimmy's the best player on the court too. I don't think we could argue that. So I like that look, man. That's why I kind of lean to Miami as well. You know, if he's playing with a chip, I don't know. I don't know what the hell he was doing last game though, Bobano. Did you see he took his shit out mid game, his hair?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's focus on just the basketball game. Let's not worry about the hair, Jimmy, and let's catch that prop.
Yeah, I agree with that. All his props. Like I say, points, rebounds, assists. He's gone over in 5 straight with all 3 of them. All right, next up, we've got, as we continue along, Philly and Cleveland. Sixers, 2.5-point road favorites, 222.5 being the total in this matchup here between 2 pretty good Eastern Conference teams. All of a sudden, there's only 1 game separating them. Sixers, 45 wins, Cleveland, 44 wins. So this very interesting matchup here as far as the conference playoff picture is concerned. There's only 3 games separating the Sixers and the Cavaliers going into tonight. The Sixers, though, they've won 5 straight. They're coming off a blowout win over Washington, 112-93 on Sunday. They'll look to keep it rolling here tonight. Cleveland, meanwhile, they've won 2 straight, albeit on the road against a weaker Charlotte team. But you step back and look, and you see that they beat Miami. They beat Boston at home. They beat Toronto and Detroit. So they're playing pretty well. We know for the most part they haven't necessarily been as good on the road, obviously. But now they're back home, getting 2.5 points here against Philly. Again, this Cleveland squad is 28-7 here on their home court. They'll look to keep that going here tonight. I like Cleveland here, with all due respect to Philly. We haven't seen Cleveland as a home underdog in quite some time. I am ready to trust Cleveland in these spots. They beat Boston just recently at the house. I think they could hang here with Embiid. And keep in mind, Embiid's going to play. McDaniels is out for Philadelphia. It looks like Jared Allen out for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, which does hurt a little bit when you're going up against Joel Embiid. But they got Mobley. What a matchup that is at the center spot. Mobley and Joel Embiid tonight in this game. I just like Cleveland here. They're a good home team. They're getting a home underdog price. And I think when you look at the overall picture in the Eastern Conference, this is a huge game for Cleveland. You know, if they want to catch Philadelphia, this is a game they got to get. They're at home. They're hosting the Sixers. They're 3 games back of Philly. If you want to track this team down, you got to get the dub tonight here. I like Cleveland plus 2.5. What do you think here, Dutch? Good matchup in the East. Sixers, Cavs.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Bo Jackson. Razor sharp picks in the building. Good to see him. Mr. Trifecta, Nasty Nate in the building. I'm sure he'll be in full effect. Good to see our guy, Tone Miggs, as well. Alfonso Scott. And Tiffany, the beautiful young lady as well. We got the ladies in the house, double T's in the house. We appreciate it. Yeah, man, I actually disagree here, Bobano. I think this is a Philly spot here. Haven't got to the window yet. Only placed 1 bet today. But I like the Sixers here, man. And I haven't been rushing. I waited on the Bucks last night, and I was happy with the outcome. So we're going to break it down. And obviously, if we make anything official, I'm going to show the love on Twitter. And be sure to follow us, and you'll see the plays. But yeah, I do like Philly here. I think this is a tough spot for Cleveland. Obviously, without one of their best players, Jared Allen. I believe D. Mitch will be playing tonight, but they are fresh off a 4-game road trip in a back-to-back situation here. Obviously, playing last night in Charlotte, and you know, I just think they're not the deepest team. You know, as well. You got Philly playing really good basketball. They've won 5 straight. You got them with 2 days off, the extra rest factor. I think they're the better basketball team either way, but you got them rested. You got them missing one of their horses in Jared Allen. I like the Sixers here. I think they get it done. I like the addition of Maxey starting. Freeze up. He plays really well with James Harden. Say what you will about motherfucking Fear the Beard, but the boy is averaging, doing well, shooting very well from the 3-point line. I believe right around 40% and averaging right around 13 assists a game of late. So I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. I prefer to back the Sixers at the crib. And the one thing that is kind of holding me off from pulling the trigger on this, Bobano, has been they did beat them recently. And they beat Cleveland and Philly by about 6 here recently, early, not too long ago, in late February. So kind of maybe a get right spot for Cleveland, but I do believe it is a Sixers spot.
All right, liking the Sixers. I can't deny they got the rest advantage. That is in their favor. We'll see how they get things rolling here tonight, if they can keep it rolling, I should say, against Cleveland. All right, Lakers and Rockets. We got the Lakers 3-point road favorites, 231. the total. Now, this is definitely a Houston spot because it's a back-to-back for the Lakers. LeBron's out. They've confirmed Anthony Davis is out now as well for the Lakers. He's been dealing with this damn foot thing for several games, playing through it, but he's definitely going to sit out tonight. So LeBron, of course, been out for a while. Now Anthony Davis out, and it just tells you all you need to know. Back-to-back for the Lakers, too, after a win last night in New Orleans, 123-108. So it's got all the makings of a Laker no-show tonight on the road when they've had some of these on a back-to-back. But can you trust Houston? Okay, that ends up being the question here. Like, it's Houston or pass for me, but do I want to trust the Rockets? They did beat Boston in a stunner on Monday night, 111-109, 13-point home underdog against the Celtics, and they got the job done in that one in spite of 43 points by Jaylen Brown, who was absolutely spectacular. But they got 28 from Jalen Green, Houston, 24 from Wham's boy, Jabari Smith, Kenyon Martin Jr. with 20. They got KPJ 14, Jayshawn Tate with 11. What a balanced effort from Houston. And dare I say it, they played some decent defense. For their standards, it was a damn good defensive game against the Boston Celtics. But is there maybe a letdown after a game like that for a team that's not used to winning games and a team that's not used to beating good competition? That ends up being the question. Like, it's definitely a Rockets type of – it feels like it. The Lakers now with no Anthony Davis now as well on a back-to-back. This is a game that they just might punt on. But do you trust the Rockets after maybe one of the best games they've played all year to do it again? This is still a bad 16-win basketball team. Do you really want to trust them again? I'm not so sure. It's a tough game from a side perspective. What isn't tough for me is I like the over. With Anthony Davis out, we know the pace quickens. We know the defense is not as good. We know the rim protection and the paint in defense in the paint is not as good. So I think the Rockets can score tonight. I still think the Lakers will get theirs even without LBJ and AD tonight. They've still got players that can do damage with Russell, Beasley, Troy Brown and company. Players off the bench too that can shoot that basketball against a Rockets team that, they play great defense against Boston. Can they do it again? I'm not so sure. So for me, I'm on the over. I lean Rockets, but I don't have enough faith in them. I'm just going to stick to the total here. What do you think, Dutch, with Lakers Rockets?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Nunya. Mike, get him in the building. Pimp slap play of the motherfucking day. I see you, my man. Spencer also liking some plays here. Good to see our boy Spencer in the building. Yeah, man. I think I kind of second everything you said there, but yeah, I'm not betting this basketball game. I see a lot of love for the Lakers in the chat. This is definitely a Houston Rockets spot. I don't know how much the Lakers are going to be invested in this game. Obviously, they were fully invested against the Pelicanos. I do think the Rockets, man, they continue to surprise. They won three games in the last 10 days. That's more than they won all fucking year so far in 2023. So I mean, they just beat a very impressive Boston team, as Bobano touched on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Rockets win this basketball game. But yeah, absolutely no action for me on this one.
All right, good stuff. All right, next up as we continue along here, we just talked about it. Houston with the stunning upset against Boston. Boston will look to bounce back tonight. They're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Boston, 5-point road favorites now, 233 being the total in this one. On paper, this is a very good basketball team that should feel embarrassed. They absolutely should feel embarrassed with what happened against Houston the other night. 111-109. Like I said, 13-point road favorites. They lose outright. You would think this is a spot for a Boston response, and I think you're going to get it from them. Now, Minnesota is off a pretty damn good performance. I wasn't trusting Atlanta, even though it felt like a good spot for them against Minnesota, and damn sure good thing I didn't trust them because Minnesota went in there and beat the shit out of them, 136-115. That game was over at halftime. What a pathetic game that was for the Atlanta Hawks the other night against Minnesota. But let's give the T-Wolves credit. It was a well-played game by them. They got out early. They shredded that Atlanta defense. They shot 59% in that game. They got 32 from Anthony Edwards. Those props were as good as fucking gold on the Monday show with our OG Monday. It was me, Dutch, Ski, and Wham. We talked about Anthony Edwards going home to Atlanta. He played Georgia with the Bulldogs, and he just ripped apart that Atlanta team. A huge game from Anthony Edwards there, leading Minnesota to victory. 32 points he had, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. Terrific shooting night for him. And they just ripped apart Atlanta defensively. Can they keep it going now? Back at the house. And back at the house has not been a kind place for Minnesota lately. Look at these home these home results for them. 3-point favorites against Washington, lose outright. 7-point favorites against Charlotte, lose outright. 3.5-point favorites against Philadelphia, lose outright. 4.5-point favorites at home against Brooklyn, they lose outright in overtime. Terrible at home lately. 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread. Minnesota, their last 4 home games. You got Boston coming to play. Boston pissed off probably after losing to one of the worst teams in the NBA. You know what I'm on. I agree with the move on Boston. I like them here -5 at the current number as well. What do you think here, Dutch? Celtics, Wolves.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Marquell. He's like in JT to bounce back. I see our guy Big Lucci in the building. Also RP. I see my man. Yeah, this game, man. I feel like I should be all over Boston here, but I'm just not too confident. They lost 4 out of the last 6 basketball games. They're getting embarrassed against Houston. I don't know, man. I don't really like what I'm seeing out of Marcus Smart. I do believe Malcolm Brogdon probably needs to be the starting point guard there if he can stay healthy. This is what I was expecting when they signed him, to be quite honest with you. And Smart can play it too. You know, he can set the tone. He just doesn't need a ball in his hand so much. But he's one hell of a defender, and you need that chip. But I don't know, man. I do believe you would think Boston will come out here and just lay the wood, to be quite honest with you. I'm trying to dummy it down a little bit and not really have too much action. I haven't bet Boston here. They did beat them recently as well. But yeah, man, they look like they're getting back to their winning ways. They won 2 straight, and then they fucked around and lose to Houston as a 13-point dog, as Bobano mentioned. So they should get right back to it. Haven't bet it. I'm not on it, but listening to Bobano break it down, I'm kind of thinking, why don't I have the Celtics in my pocket right now? -5, small number too.
Yeah, I think if they play poorly and lose, then you got more reason for concern. Like it's one thing to lose to Houston, which is bad. Maybe we should be concerned already, but this is supposed to be a spot where a team we think can win the Eastern Conference can bounce back and show up. This is a spot for them to show. It's supposed to be, and if they don't tonight, then we get concerned a little bit about Boston. But you're right; they've been average lately. The Celtics, make no mistake about it, they've been average. But this is a spot for them not to be average, in my opinion. This is a spot for focus, for intensity. You're supposed to be not thrilled about losing to one of the worst teams in the NBA, being awful in that last game. We'll see if Boston has the right response. And again, Minnesota's been bad at the house lately, 0-4 straight up in their last 4 home games. All right, and against the spread, by the way. All right, next up, Sacramento and Chicago. Pretty much a pick 'em here. We had Chicago 1.5-point favorites. Now Sacramento favored by 1 on the road, 236 the total in this game. Is it right that you feel that you're impressed with a team even in a loss? Because that's the way I feel about Sacramento the other night against Milwaukee. Like, I know they lost to the Bucks the other night, but I came away from that game actually impressed with, they hung toe-to-toe for a long time. That game got very, very ornery as well between the two teams. They were exchanging some blows there. It got physical in that game, but I like that. I think it's good for that young Sacramento team. Bring the team together, show some camaraderie. No question about that. But obviously stemming from that game against Milwaukee, some suspensions were handed down. And you look at this matchup here against Chicago, they've got Trey Lyles and Rashawn Holmes out. But the bottom line is most of their best players are still unscathed. It looks like it's going to be De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, the starting 5. For Chicago, obviously this team continues to be, up and down, just continues to be the mantra here for the Bulls. 2 losses to Phoenix and Indiana at home, and sure enough, they go on the road. They destroyed Denver. They beat Houston in their last game. We'll see if they can keep that rolling here in this one. Sacramento starting a long road trip out east, so let's see how they fare here tonight with this road trip beginning off a loss. I'm telling you what, I like Sacramento here a little bit. Even with those suspension issues, I don't trust Chicago. I just don't. They're just too erratic for me. Sacramento, I think just asking them to win the game, starting a road trip. They've been good off a loss lately. I haven't bat Sacramento a lot, but that's how down I am on Chicago. I just don't have that game-to-game faith in them. And by the way, Alex Caruso is a game-time decision tonight for Chicago. Sacramento would be the look here. As long as it doesn't climb any further, it stays in this pick-em range. Kings are nothing for me. What do you think here, Dutch? Sacramento, Chicago.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Chill Will. Salute to you, my dude. Sorry to hear that about your mother, my man. Don't wish that on no one. I know I could Okay, a lot to be on you. Sorry to hear that once again. Yeah, man, let's get some winning tickets. That's one thing that can make you feel better. It ain't gonna take it away. We're gonna make you feel a little bit better. It's motherfucking money in your pocket. So sending positive vibes your way, my dude, and it's hopefully some winners as well. Shout out to our guy JPZ as well. Good to see our man in the building. Yeah, this game, man. Which game is this again? Bobano, my fault.
Kings Bulls.
Kings Bulls, my fault. Yeah, man. Hey, that's some deep shit with Chill Will. I lost train. Then I see Billy Briz ass in the chat, at the bottom.
There
Don't
he
show
is.
the fuck up. Let us know late, and then wants to chill in the motherfucking chat, dropping plays. But he's on the right side with the Heat -4. I will give him that. Salute to our guy. Yeah, man. I think this is a tough game. The Bulls have been off for 4 fucking days, been chilling. So they've just been waiting, counting. They've been preparing, I guess, getting shit right for Sacramento, because I couldn't believe it that they've just been chilling after winning 2 straight. Most impressively, as Bobano touched on it there in Denver, smacked the Nuggets around. But I mean, I guess that ain't really saying too much after these boys lost 4 straight. But it is something to me to win in Denver like that. Did what they should have done against Houston. I'm big on Sacramento here. Sacramento does play Brooklyn tomorrow. Got to look at that as well. But man, I just think this is a tough game here. I like Sac. I do. They beat them earlier in Sacramento, in the mid-December. But something tells me it's Chicago right here. It does. It just tells me it's Chicago. I want to be on Sacramento because I think De'Aaron Fox is a stud. It's a bonus. You know what you're getting out of him. But Vooch, DeRozan. They do have, obviously Levine. They got enough to show up at the crib. So Bobano touched on this is a tough team in Chicago to cap because you don't really know. They're so night and fucking day. But I believe they could win this basketball game. So I'm off of it, but strong lean to Chicago at the crib.
All right, leaning towards Chicago here. All right, next up, Dallas, San Antonio. The Mavericks, 5-point road favorites, 227 being the total in this game. The total getting bet down pretty heavily, 6-point move here toward the under in this game tonight. Dallas, you always have to check the injury report because they've obviously had a shorthanded lineup, the last few games, and it looks like it's going to be more of the same with that tonight. Luka Doncic thigh injury is going to keep him out now for a 3rd straight game. Kyrie Irving, Christian Wood, Tim Hardaway, they are all game time decisions tonight. A foot injury for Kyrie Irving. I think his brain is injured, honestly, half the time, but that's another story. What else? Christian Wood, there's another one as far as injury, another foot issue. I mean, we got to get a goddamn new foot doctor here in Dallas. What's going on here? Everybody's got a bad fucking foot. Bad wing with their
old Kyries or the new ones? What's going on over there?
I don't know what's going on, but I think the foot doctor's not doing his job right now with the Dallas Mavericks. Everybody's got a foot injury right now. And at least with Tim Hardaway, it's another part of the body. It's a calf injury for him. So that's the good news. But, you look at this spot here with the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, it's hard to lay points with them just knowing it's going to be a makeshift lineup and knowing they've lost 3 in a row. They haven't played their best basketball. But I don't want to take San Antonio either. I know they beat Orlando. I'll give them credit for that. 132-114 last night, but they're on back-to-back. Dallas has a rest advantage, but Dallas doesn't have a roster I want to lay points with on the road right now. So pretty clear stay off for me. What do you think here, Dutch?
Yeah, man, I wasn't going to do it. Shout out to our boy Razor. So everyone's betting the Kings. That line is only 1. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'm with Razor on this shit tonight. I think Chicago's the play. Shout out to our boy Sam Comer in the building. And salute to our chat. We got, what does Connor Mack say? The best damn chat in the game. They show love to our boy Chill Will. Good shit to the real ones that did. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, fuck this game. I didn't want to do it because it's just me and you, Bobano. But back with this motherfucker.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, I hate this game too. I think it's a tough game, so I have no worries for me. No problem for me going back.
You already gave a jab on Kyrie, so I feel like I would just be piling off on it now. So I'll just back with it.
Yeah, definitely. But you're right. It's tough. It's tough to lay points, Mike, just because you don't know who the fuck's going to be on the floor tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. Who's it going to be?
Yeah. Go ahead. They did drop 142 on him. It was like the best game Kyrie and Luka had since the trade. 2 weeks ago maybe they dropped 142 piece on San Antonio. So maybe look for San Antonio to get a little, not win the basketball game because that's not what they do in San Antonio right now. But maybe be competitive in that one.
I'll give you a prop that I might bet in this game. Jaden Hardy for Dallas. He's the guy that stepped up here. 22 and 28 points for the Mavericks with Luka out. And you're always looking for those players that their usage is going to go up and they're going to play better and get more opportunity when someone's out of the lineup. And for Dallas, that has definitely been Jaden Hardy. So filling that point guard role for the Dallas Mavericks. So if you can find some Jaden Hardy props for this game, I'd certainly say maybe go for over points. Like I say, he's gotten into the 20s the last two games, 22 and 28. So definite possibility that he might be able to get over his point prop once again tonight for the Mavericks in this game. All right, final game for this Wednesday slate, Warriors, Clippers. We've got Golden State, the Clippers 3-point home favorites, 237 is the total in this one. It's Golden State on the road, so that pretty much tells you I probably won't be backing Golden State in this game. I mean, it's beyond ridiculous right now how this team is just ripping off the W's, playing good basketball at the house, at New Oracle in San Francisco, and yet they go on the road and they completely fall apart. 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. Their last three road games against the Lakers, the Thunder, and the Grizzlies. And then they go back home, they win, and they cover. I mean, they become the easiest damn team to handicap, Golden State. You back them at home and you fade them on the road. It really is that simple. They're horrible. How is this team? Do you know what their straight up record is on the road? 7-26. 7-26. This is a team that's a defending champion, and they're 7-26 on the road this year. That's absolutely awful. For the Clippers, this has to be a game where you show up. This has to be a game that you want. This has to be a game where, for Paul George and Russell Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard and company, this is a statement. These are the defending champs. They haven't looked it on the road all year, but this is still the defending champs. You want to make a statement. You want to play your best ball. I think they will. You always want to look for those spots, Dutch, where the team cares. I think the Clippers care tonight. I would only look Clippers here. Minus 140 money line or lay the 2.5, 3, whatever you like. But Clippers spot for me. What do you think here, Dutch?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our Mohammed. Good to see you in the building. Haven't seen you in a minute. And since you we go back a little bit, I'll answer the question. He said, "What is a backwood?" Hey, man, it's bad for your health, bro. It's a strong pass, is what it is. It's backwood. But yeah, I actually really like this game today. Shout out to Precision Picks, the guy I fuck with on Twitter. Be sure to follow our guy. He's been real hot of late. I like the way he caps as well. We collabed a little bit on this one. Got the Clippers early minus 135. I do endorse the 2.5. You can get a 2.5 minus 110 right now at William Hill. I like this game a lot. I think March 2nd, these two teams played in the Bay, and the Clippers got fucked by 24, bro. They got smacked the fuck around. So it's definitely a revenge spot to get right at the crib. Not to mention the Clippers have been chilling in LA for 3 days. They have not played, had 3 days off after winning 3 straight with probably their most impressive win beating the Knicks. So I think this is a clear Clipper spot here. I think Russ just getting less minutes, less ball control, and it's working out. To be quite honest with you, they don't. He can start. You can make him feel good, but he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the fucking time. You got PG, who's damn near pretty elite, and obviously Kawhi Leonard is elite. So, but I like the way the Clippers run with Plumlee off the bench here. They got a big. Zubac is back playing healthy. They don't just simply rely on him as their only big, with Plumlee able to nice addition off the bench. So. You get Kawhi, you get PG. It's going to be Clippers early and often in this game. I love them full game here. Minus 135 is good money, and I like the 3 as well. You can get a better number though.
Yeah, it lines up on both sides. I think Clippers, they played well at home. They played better at home. Russell Westbrook's fitting in nicely there. I can't even throw any hate at Russell Westbrook right now. He's fit in very nicely, and they've used him in the right way. Ty Lue deserves credit for that. You're not putting him in spots and putting him in positions to fail. You're putting him in positions to succeed, and that's definitely been a help. You got the Clippers. I think they're going to treat this like kind of a statement game. Warriors just cannot get their shit together on the road. So from both angles, I think it makes sense to look at Clippers here in this matchup tonight. Short home favorites. Great stuff, Dutch. Great stuff from the chat. Again, we've got, what's funny, this counter, we have a little live viewer counter that we have on the StreamYard studio here, it's broken clearly today because it's showing 0, which is not the case. I know we've got a couple hundred at
Yeah,
least.
the shit's been funky lately because yesterday we had a weird link too. Like we only had nobody in here, and the link I set up had like 23 likes, but no, you couldn't even view the shit. So I don't know what happened. Now today we don't know how many viewers we got.
Don't know how many live viewers. Well, we know there's a bunch of you, a couple hundred of you. So hit the like button, which means there should be more likes than there are right now. So hit that
Absolutely.
like button.
Me and Bono, remember Bono breaking this motherfucker down like a pound. We had to do a little more extra, just because it's me and him. So come on, man, show some love. Plus, we winning money here in the NBA. If you don't know, that's what we're doing. We're dumbing it down, and we're giving out nothing but fucking winners. Believe it.
That's right. It's been a good run. I picked it up here in the last few weeks in the NBA, which is good to see. Didn't start well, but we're getting it together. And you better look out when the playoffs start because the playoffs have been really good the last couple of years. So we're heating up at the right time in the NBA. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Shout out to everyone in the chat. And also, before we get to best bets and all that, the Pub Sports Radio March Madness Bracket Contest. Make sure you get involved in that. All right. Make sure you sign up for that. Pubsportsradio.com. Make sure you get involved with it. It is available to get involved in the March Madness Bracket Challenge. So make sure you get involved with that. It's going to be a lot of fun, of course. And, it's always, the upsets galore in the NCAA tournament. So make sure you pick the spots wisely. But yes, and March Madness contest on the website, pubsportsradio.com. Still time. Again, the first round doesn't begin till tomorrow. So make sure you jump in and get involved with that. All right, we got best bets. We've got Dutch's freshest look. It's coming right up right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Southtown 101, and manscaped.com. Promo code PubSports. Get 20% off your purchase and free shipping of anything at manscaped.com with promo code PubSports. All right, best bets, Dutch's freshest look. To wrap up the show here on this Wednesday, Dutch, we'll go to you first. Freshest look.
Yeah, man. Freshest look. We're going to La La Land. And when you go to LA, you got to be fresh. So it's only right. Them Warriors going to catch a motherfucking fade. Clippers, -2, -3, whatever you motherfucking want. Money line. It's good money.
There you go. LA Clippers, the clip joint, -2.5, -3 against Golden State for Dutch with his best bet. My best bet, it's going to go to those Celtics. Celtic pride. We're getting the green out. It's St. Patrick's Day coming up on Friday. How can I not have the Boston Celtics as a best bet, at least one show this week with St. Patrick's Day coming up on Friday? This is the spot, I think, for them. Bounce back time after a loss to Houston. Minnesota 0-4 straight up in ATS in their last 4 home games. They have not played good basketball on this floor in recent games. We're laying it with Boston -5 against Minnesota for my best bet for this Wednesday NBA Pub Hub show. That'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. And a reminder, Pub Hub is back tomorrow. Dutch hosting along with Ski and Durrell. It's not Durrell, Ski and Billy tomorrow on the Thursday show. So make sure you check that out. I'll be back with Connor Mack, top of the hour, 5 p.m. Eastern. Join us for the College Basketball Net Profit Show. Looking forward to that right here on Pub Sports Radio. For Dutch, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll see you again tomorrow for the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to the real ones holding us down in the chat. Big Lucci, Real Deal Prime, razor sharp picks as always. Nunya, RP in the building. Jake, motherfucking Peasy. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.